Welcome to Women in Power Active, an initiative started by UR Sportswear to empower women to find their own active adventure. I'm your host, Jacalyn Gross. This is one of my favorite episodes that we do. I always love reflecting on the incredible women I've had the privilege of speaking with and the empowering insights they've shared. Each of us comes from a unique background, facing different struggles and viewing our athletic lifestyles through different lenses, which shapes what fitness means to us personally. This year, I've faced my own challenges after my appendix ruptured. I was sidelined for 2 months, only to walk. That's like the longest break I've taken since I was 12. It was a true mental test, impacting my physical health but my sense of self-worth as well. It's forced me to reflect on everything I've learned through this podcast, including the realization that sometimes fitness itself is an obstacle per in pursuing other passions. I want to take a moment to thank each of the incredible women who have shared their stories. Your courage and wisdom continue to inspire me, and I can't wait for next year to see what it brings in terms of conversations and insights. So I hope you enjoy these words of empowerment that the women of 2024 have shared with us.
I am the type of person that I just kind of throw myself into things. But within that process, I also like to take notes, either mentally or write them down. I'm kind of, I have a mechanical mind, so I'm more science-based about these things. Scientific theory, I think we'll say about these things, where I'm taking notes and I'm making adjustments. And it's okay to make those adjustments, even if you think that they are at a level that's below all your friends or everyone else that's around you, and you just feel low as dirt for doing it. It's okay if you have to modify, the push-ups or the pull-ups or the bench press or whatever. Those modifications will get you to where you want to go eventually if you keep putting the work in. Now, the only caveat, of course, is all those intersectional things with nutrition and socioeconomic status. Because my first impulse was to say, just get out there and do it, right?
Mhm.
But me being a person that I know that I've had all these things intersecting with my climbing that have been barriers as well, like it's hard to just get out there and do it sometimes. So if you have a starting point and you feel like it's less than, have some grace with yourself. Everyone starts somewhere, and it may not be where you want it to be, but you can get there eventually if you put in the work, and if you have privilege enough to be able to fuel yourself, etc., which I know is a little bleak, but it all connects back to climbing.
Yes, that's very, very true. And like, you know, um, you've come so far and have overcome so many things. Like, I definitely think you people don't realize that we're not all starting from the same start line. So it's incredible to like that you've gotten to this point where you're thinking about all these things that are going to get you to be successful, but like you have to think about the fact that like you came up with them and you put yourself in the position for success. And a lot of that is like leaps and bounds that you other people might not have taken. So that's really incredible.
I guess there is one thing that I'd like to add just on top of what you just said,
Mhm.
and that is starting points that everyone starts at different places, right? And sometimes you can't actually see people's crux, right? You can't see what it is that they're going through, what it is that they're trying to overcome, and how much progress they've made. I mean, I have hired professionals to help me out in my climbing, and I don't feel any shame about that because I had to have a starting point and I wanted to get better because I felt like I was lacking so much. Not saying hire professionals because you feel like you're lacking. There's a whole range of reasons you would hire a professional to help you in your life and your climbing experience, right? But oh, I lost my train of thought. Let's see, set points. Yeah.
Yes, starting
Oh,
in the beginning.
yes. So you can't always just look at someone and be like, oh, I thought that you climbed really hard, or I thought that you didn't climb like anything. It goes back to like body shape and weight and all that, right? I've had people tell me before where I shared with them that I train with a coach, and they're like, wow, I watched you climb and I thought that you were a crusher. And you're just like, excuse me, from where I came from,
Yeah.
I am a crusher. Thank you.
Mhm.
I have worked so hard to be here. And so I mean, not judging people and also not judging yourself. I mean, it's really none of your business how hard I climb or who I employ to help me get there. And I feel like a lot of athletes do employ professionals and they're not upfront about it. And that's fine. That's their business.
Mhm.
But I'm always more than happy to share resources because I feel like that's how we move forward. That's how we are able to go beyond what our capabilities are sometimes because it's okay to ask for outside help. Okay, now I'm done.
No, 100% agree. Like I have a friend that coaches me for running because I cannot coach myself for running. I will just run myself into the ground because I don't know when to stop myself. Like I that and it's so much I'm so much healthier when I have somebody else to tell me if it's a good workout or a bad workout. And you'd think that's like an elementary thing. I've been running for years, but that's one of the things I just need help with. So 100% agree with you. And it doesn't you're the one putting in the work. Doesn't have to do with it anybody else but you and yourself. So yeah, maybe technique is improved faster because somebody was there to tell you, but you're the one picking up the weights, lifting, working through those motions. Like that is all you. It's not the coach. So 100%.
Very good point. I
Yeah.
like that.
Definitely just starting it off with you're never too old and it's never too late to pursue your dreams. And the reason why some of us think that we're too old for this is it's not we are too old for this. It's because societal norms tell us we're too old for this, or the people around us have already like accepted that we're too old for this. We shouldn't have to accept and be okay with it. Like if there's a drive in us, try it and be around others who also think like that too, be around others who empower you, who empower that drive that yes, we can do it.
Mhm.
Because when we're around the right energy, that's what will allow us to thrive. Something that I've learned is that, for me, for breaking, it's not about being around the best B girls or B boys. It's not around being champions that's going to allow me to grow. It's being around the right energy that supports me in my growth that's going to allow me to grow. So it could be someone at my level, someone at like maybe not even at my level, but they're in the right mental headspace to keep me grounded to pursue what I want to do. So for anyone out there who wants to pursue something at a later age, yes, you can do it. Yes, it's possible. Find a community that supports you and believes in you and who is your cheerleader, because that's going to be the energy to allow you to thrive.
Love that. Just giving it a little space. That's so great and so true. It's never too old and it's never too late. I just I was thinking about that the other day too, and I kind of was reading your bio and I was just like, yeah, she's right. There's so many opportunities, there's so many things we can do. Like it's never too late to just try something new.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm. Yeah. And it's wild because, just engaging with the people on my social media, there's so many people out there who I didn't like people. There's so many people like, wow, I can do this. They need to be around others who are doing it too.
yep.
And so that's what I mean about community. We need to surround ourselves or attract people who are also pursuing things at a later age. And they may not necessarily be breaking, but just something, because it's the energy that keeps us going. It doesn't have to be the exact same hobby. And so being in a that's kind of what I love about my social media at the moment. I feel like it's become a safe and empowering space for
Mhm.
others to feel like, you know what, when I go to Mel's page, I know I could do it. I know I could do this. I feel empowered, and that's what I'm talking about, is being around people who give you the energy to know that you can do it. And it's not anything like fake or anything like that. No, it's just an energy to support you. That's all we need.
Yep. It's like while we're trying to accept ourselves, it's really helpful to like have people around that already love and accept you and, want
Yes.
you to succeed.
Yes, definitely. That's like a very powerful energy that allows us
Mhm.
to grow faster. When we are pursuing those things, what has helped me is making prioritizing joy in the learning process. To not, to not get down on ourselves or discouraged when we don't see the results that we want to see in the timeline we want to see it. To have this sense of gratitude, that like to thank our bodies that we can do this at this age, to thank life, thank the universe that it's showing up in our lives, that we can continue to do something that we love. And even though it's okay that it's not at the process and timeline that we want to see it, but like to be grateful that we're doing it. And so when we have that sense of gratitude, it also changes our experience as we're growing in this passion.
As like you were saying, like that positive self-talk that
Mhm.
you keep telling yourself, it really does make a difference.
It totally
It
does.
does. It
And
really
being
does.
and being aware of who we're surrounding ourselves with, that
Yeah.
should be healthy, and empowering, and even the social media accounts
Mhm. Yeah.
that we are looking at should be
Yeah.
healthy and empowering.
And, it seems like a simple lesson, but it's like, it really is true. The different type of body positivity accounts I have been following have really helped me to feel more positive about how I look and how I perform. Like it really did change how I think. So it's seeing that positivity in action and also, yeah. So who you're around is like really, really important.
Oh, that is key for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. You almost have to be, when you were younger, you had your parents were kind of saying what you could and couldn't watch, like, oh, you can't watch R-rated movies or whatnot, or however you grew up. I'm not sure. But now, like, you kind of have to be that keeper of like regulation of I'm not going to watch this because it's going to impact me negatively. I'm going to feel bad. Like, you kind of have to be that person to stop
Yeah.
yourself from
Yeah.
engaging with it.
And even for that, like
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like being aware later.
Yeah.
We won't know until later.
Yeah.
And so there's that, like that awareness, that kind of, you start to fine tune that awareness as we're more in tune with
Yes.
knowing that. Mhm.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's so important finding your people and finding your community. And that's, like I said earlier, it's so we have the ability to do that now with social media and, looking at your local groups and being like, there's a lot of resources now for people who want to do different activities, right? It's like you can find a group for that. You can find like-minded people, and um, I think that's so important to create that community. Or if you can't find that person, like convince one of your friends to go do it with you. Like that, having that support and building that community with each other is like it's so empowering for you, but also for them. And you just can feed off each other. And it's like, I always say, like, start a gang, get your people together and just go do what you want to do. Because, when we have that, um, community and we're just stronger. And I think that in every aspect of life, it's like, talk to each other, reach out to each other, reach out to me, hit me up. You know, the worst someone can say is no, right? And it's like, I think more times than not, you'll find that the person you reach out to has the same experience as you and also is wanting that connection. So I think that's something that I've really noticed in people. It's like you find your people, and then you can take on the world together. And snowboarding especially is, and skiing too, it's like it can be such an individual sport.
Mhm.
But I just think there's so much power in building community and having and supporting each other, and that goes both ways, like supporting, like giving people the support that you would want. And then together we're stronger.
You know, I think that it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day, and it's the concept of not measuring yourself against others, but only yourself. And so if I got up and did something really crappy today, that's still better than yesterday when I didn't get up and do anything. And I always feel better when I get up and move. I'm a person who's always had to have a lot of movement to be okay with myself and in myself. I think that's part of the reason I was a teacher, was because I didn't have to sit ever being a teacher.
Mhm.
But I can get in the headspace. Like, one of my main training regimens is I go do laps of stairs outside, and I can get in my head sometimes doing that, where it's like, ugh, that person's doing them faster than I am. And it's like, yeah, but I'm out here doing it today, and I've been outside getting fresh air, and I did it, and I track, laps and how long it takes me. And so I can say, like, but look, I'm getting better over time. Or, wow, I actually got out twice this week and did something. And I just, I think people have too much fear of what others think, and don't do the things that would be best to take care of themselves because of that fear. And parkour can be for anybody. Climbing can be for anybody. Breakdancing can be for anybody. You just have to be willing to start where you are and learn and laugh and have fun with it. But that's the biggest thing for me, is finding something that you enjoy doing. Even if you have moments of being scared of it, even if you have moments of being frustrated, that's great. Pushing through those things is amazing. But I had tried running, I had tried yoga, I had tried all these different things, and they weren't the things that clicked for me. It was parkour that clicked for me, because I can find ways to be competitive in it, and I need that competitive piece. But I'm also only really competing against myself, and it's got the creativity piece that I need to keep my brain stimulated. Um, Running was the single worst for me, because all it did was allow me alone time in my own brain to be with my thoughts, and I hated that. When you're doing parkour, you can't worry about anything else other than the parkour. Get out there, try something, and be willing to try different things until you find the one that clicks with you.
Oh, I love that so much. I was like, that was so well said. I I think about that often, just like there's so many things that you could do, like so many possibilities. So yeah, keep trying until you find something that you love.
I would say like don't be afraid to like push your boundaries. Like you don't know how far you can go until you push yourself past them. Like don't be afraid to fail. And also like one thing that I learned is like also like don't be afraid to like ask for help, and like there are like strong women all around. So like use that to your advantage. Don't be afraid to reach out to people who you look up to, because lots of times like like you'll see people and you're like, wow, that person, and they're a person too, and they want to help you if, and so don't be afraid to like ask for help or ask for encouragement, or just yeah, and don't be afraid to like take risk even though they might sound crazy or wild. Like like I was young and wanted to go to the Olympics, and it was just like, let's just do this thing. And then, yeah, this season, it's like, yeah, let's try to make a World Cup team. I didn't do it, but like I have absolutely no regrets. You'll regret things that you don't do, but you won't regret things that you tried and you failed at, because then you tried.
For other women going through this, it was like something the nurse said to me when I was like in the hospital and feeling like absolute garbage and like not being able to crunch up or sit up, was just like, use what you have. And so I thought about that the whole time. Like, okay, I can't do a crunch up, but I can use my arms and push myself up. I can use my legs and lift myself up. So like, just like thinking about the things like that, like, okay, use what you have, use the muscles you have, but like maybe use the tools you have as well. Um, that really like sat with me the entire time I was in the hospital. And now even being out of the hospital, I feel the same way. It's like, okay, I'm going to use what I have and get through this.
I think so. To summarize, like my college and transferring experience,
Yeah.
I would say, like, words of empowerment there is, if you feel like something is wrong, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, there is no situation when you should be like playing a sport. Like, you're the valued one in that situation. You're the one doing the work. Your coaches are just there to coach you. You're the one performing. If you feel like something's wrong, it is, and you can talk to someone, because you shouldn't feel like there is something wrong in that situation. And then in sports and
Yes,
athletics in
yeah.
general, I would say just keep trying to find new things. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Just try to find things that make you feel good and excite you. Because for me, when I get stuck on something for, too long, things like that happen. It's okay. You can love a single sport, but it's so fun to do new things.
Yes.
Like, think of how you felt when you first started your sport that you love. Like, you can find that anywhere. Like, go try new things. That's what I've been really enjoying. So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Go try new things and also like be terrible at it. Cause like I tried surfing and I'm
Oh my
absolutely
gosh.
terrible at surfing.
That is on my bucket list, because I can't live in California and not know how to
Yes.
surf.
Yes, you
But
have to.
oh boy, we'll
Yep.
see.
Yeah, you probably don't even have to wear like a wetsuit. It's probably warm enough.
No, I'll be in a bikini, like, trying to get up there. Yeah.
Trust the process. Figure out what the process is from somebody else who's done it, and then do that. It's very simple. And trust it, and show up every day, even when you don't want to, because most days you're not going to want to. I didn't want to do that training. I didn't want to be inconvenienced. I didn't want to be cold. I didn't want to blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is, do it consistently, because that was where the magic was as I was doing it over and over and over again. You start figuring things out. You start getting better. You start getting more efficient. You start figuring out what time of the day is better. You start figuring out how to manage your schedule. But if you blow it off and don't do the next thing, then you never learn those things. So, the only way to get to wherever you're going is to just do it a little bit at a time, and have faith that, listen to the nudge. Like, I just believe this in my heart, because it just happened to me. We're all given nudges or ideas, and those, I believe, are given to us from something outside of ourselves, telling us to go do something, and pay attention to that, because that's real. I know it is. And the magic on the other side of that is just more than you could ever imagine. Like, this was not even about climbing mountains for me. I mean, it was about the person I became in the process of climbing the mountains. So you don't know where the dream is supposed to lead you or where it will take you. But for me, it's never taken me to a bad place, ever. It's always taken me to a good place, and a better place, and a loving place, and a more connected place, and a place and a version of myself where I can show up better for those around me. What a gift. Versus choosing a life where, and there's nothing wrong with this at all, but choosing a life where it's just the same thing all the time, and I'm in this rut of my life, and everybody has a choice. I think people should know their why. I think that's important. I think that if you're doing something already, like athletic wise, that you should definitely just trust your training, and that you should basically just, if you're stuck, you should just start. I mean, that's all you got to do. That's all I did. I was barely running, I wasn't even running. I shouldn't even say running. I was walking. I was walking, I was biking a little bit, I was swimming a little bit, just a little bit of a taste of things. And then, I mean, it's hard to believe sometimes when I look back and go, gosh, I didn't think I was going to be doing, 112-mile bike ride or, 2.4-mile swim. Like that seemed impossible to me. Also didn't even think I was going to be doing anything. Like I thought I was done. I quit. I'm too old, too fat, whatever. But I think for women that are stuck, if you just do something small, like get your dreams, figure out what they are and just do something every day towards that dream, and then it starts to take, snowball. It just feeds off of itself, positively. And mentally, mental game is really important for people. Believe in themselves, surround yourself with people that believe in you and trust in you and that will give you good advice. Experts if you can. I mean, I'm really lucky. My company is great. I don't pay for nutrition, so I have a nutritionist and I have a sports nutritionist, and I see one of them at least once a week. So for the past 3 years, like same people. So that's been really nice. If you have stuff like that with job, that you can tap into resources, get what you can get and just use it. Use all your assets and just start. Like you got to start. You can't do anything unless you start. And don't beat yourself up. Do what you can and be proud of yourself. I think being proud of yourself is important because it encourages you to get up and do it again the next day, and the next day and the next day. And pretty soon, like for me, and I'm not. Yes, I have a past, but what I want people to know about me is that I had to start from scratch. Your muscles don't have memory for 25 years. Like, what I'm doing now, everything that I've accomplished in the last 3 years happened because I did the work and not because I have a past. Like I have skills that I still have from, my past life, but as far as physically, I don't. And mentally, no, I don't. So all those things have been, learned and working on everything, but it's not easy, but it's possible for sure for anybody to do, just to start, and be consistent. Hopefully that's good advice for people.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Women in Power Active, Words of Empowerment 2024. If you or anyone you know would be a great fit for the show, please reach out. We have a Gmail account, which is womeninpoweractive@gmail.com. Don't let that negative self-talk keep you from telling your story. Your story is important. Please reach out. You can follow me personally. That's at Jacalyn Gross, JACALYNGROSS. You can follow UR Sportswear. That's the letter U, the letter R, Sportswear on all social platforms. And you can check out any of our products at yoursportswear.com. If you are listening to this and you want to watch the video version, you can go to UR Sportswear's YouTube page and subscribe. Both the audio and video version of this podcast was produced by Jeremy Canaria and edited by me. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and Happy New Year. Have an amazing 2025. I know things didn't totally pan out how we thought they would, but let's lift each other up. Happy New Year.